hoping for. So I think we're going to do a little bit Darkest Dungeon this evening if we can. So, here we are. Alright. I think it's one of the rules of streaming. You don't have to sneeze at all until you start streaming, and then as soon as you turn on the stream, you have to sneeze just temporarily. It's pretty impressive. Alright, so where are we right now? We are doing pretty good stuff. We wanted to do some Darkest runs for some cash. And other than that, doing alright. Hey, Brooker of War. I think I wanted to pick up another Moon Ring if we could. And level 3 mission. Could run some Crusaders on this, I think. And healer, probably. Let's sort by class. What else do we have? Yeah, this is the problem. Our healers are getting a little over leveled. Bring another Plague Doctor and a healer. Shot'll be okay. When you got hysterical blindness, cure that. The healer. Healer have the camping skills for this. Yep. Cool. Alright, let's do it. Actually has some good ones. This guy doesn't have shit for good ones. But had some really bad ones. Let's walk back for a second. Is my sanitarium full? No. Good to get rid of that one. Hey V. Hey Zam. I was actually playing a little Hearthstone earlier this evening, but just like two quick things. I'm drinking, having some wine, probably have some whiskey in a little bit. If we get bored of Darkest Dungeon, we'll go play some Hearthstone. But I'm really enjoying Darkest Dungeon recently, so it seems pretty unlikely that will be the case. But we'll see. Alright, so we're going for some items. Let's go do it. Let's start setting up items. Setting up items and levels. How is our guild, our blacksmith rather? Getting pretty leveled in here. Nice. Are our Crusaders max leveled? Let's find out. No. Not even close. Shit. Well, I don't have infinite cash right now, because, yeah. We should definitely get some of that. And do we have items to sell? I really don't think we do. Yeah, we seem to be a little short in cash. Well, let's pick up this last dark item if we can. And, after that, perhaps we can, perhaps we can go do some other stuff. XQL Foxhound is resubbed for the 3rd month in a row. Thanks for the resub, mate. Much appreciated. Let's go ahead and update that sub goal. We're getting really close to releasing that air guide. We're 6 subs away. If it happens, I'll release it immediately. Have it ready to go. So, cheers, mate, for the resub. Alright. Hey, Sharktooth. Filthy didn't notice me. What type of wine? I don't know. Just some cheap bottle of cab. So, we went into a local beer store recently. Just this little hole in the wall. We were getting takeout, and we were just trying to grab something while the takeout was being prepared. And walked into this little hole in the wall liquor store, and we thought it was going to be total shit. So girlfriend was just browsing the wine. They had a little bit of wine, so she's looking for a wine. And I wandered into the back of the store, and they had a really decent microbrew selection, like beers. They had fucking zombie dust there. I couldn't believe it. You can't find zombie dust anywhere. They wouldn't sell us more than 4 individual bottles at some ridiculous price. But the girlfriend was like, "We have to get it." So we ended up with some pretty good stuff. So, you logged in just for that, Foxhound? Excellent. I know some people need the air game. Some people need that. Alright, let's get going on this though, item-wise. So I'm going to take minimal shit. I don't have a lot of cash right now, so I'm going to try to be pretty minimal in terms of what we do here. These guys are going to pick up sun rings because sun rings are really overpowered right now. At least in my opinion, they're really, really strong. And I want damage and undead damage on my Crusaders. That's accuracy and damage right there. The plague guy needs the Blasphemous Vial, which is really good. And other than that, probably the Ancestral Map for the scouting. And then double heals on the healer for the Vestal. Okay. Alright. Reasonable, but not perfect. We are doing a level 3. They hit a little bit harder. And who has my faster of the two? You're the faster of the two, so you two need to swap positions. There we go. Okay, I'm doing that because I want the other stuff to happen. I will explain Zam if you like once we get into the mission. I'll explain a little bit what's going on. This is kind of, did you ever watch any XCOM, Zam? This is kind of like in the base, and we're about to go do the mission. When we get into the mission, I'll explain a little bit about what's going on. Alright, so I'm selecting gear right now. That's basically what's happening, getting items, and then I'm going to buy actual gear here in a minute. We're going to go minimal on this if we can. I say as I buy a ton of shit. Yeah, I'm cutting it close on the old cash. Alright, that's what we're going to run. Let's do it. So these are kind of like missions, Zam. Your characters, you have a barracks worth of characters that you recruit who level up over time.
There is power in symbols. Collect the scattered
each of the dungeons is a series of rooms connected by corridors. The corridors have 4 tiles in them. The corridors can spawn enemies, traps, items, and stuff like that. Each mission has a actual mission objective. The mission objective for us in this particular mission is to go gather for 3 of these items that we have to pick up across the entire area. So that's that. We brought with us, there's like 13 or 14 classes. We brought 2 Crusaders who are damage dealers, 1 caster who has a mix of stuns and dots, and 1 healer in the back. Okay. It's called the Inquisition. It's just, it randomly attaches names to 2 groups. Eldritch Slayer. Yeah, no one could give a fuck about Eldritch Slayer. I was hoping for a map. That's okay. Alright. So this is the corridor we're moving through, right? That was the first room to the second room. Nothing in that corridor. Good. And gather 3 holy relics is one of them. We have to explore all the rooms till I get the relics. Alright, so all of the abilities on your character can level up in weapons, level up in armor, and level up in abilities. He has up to 7. All of the characters have, I think it's 8 abilities, of which maybe it's 7 abilities. Hold on. 7 abilities, of which you can have 4 active at any given time. The abilities have, notice the dots on them. The white dots represent the position. There's 4 positions in your party that represents the position they can use this ability from, and the red dot represents the position they can use the ability on. So this ability here, Holy Lance, can only be used from the rear 3 positions and can only attack the back 2 positions on the opponents, and there's going to be a lot of restrictions like that. So part of the strategy in this game is moving your enemies out of the positions they do optimal damage in, and moving your guys to positions where they do optimal damage in. The white little bar here, only one of my guys has any of it, but it's called stress here. It's a secondary statistic. Your characters have health and they have stress. As stress goes up, your characters start doing bad things. When your stress hits 100, your characters freak the fuck out, and if stress hits 200, your characters have a heart attack. And heart attacks are pretty close to dying. They don't instantly kill you anymore, but they put you in a position where you'll die. A lot of enemies use stress attacks. It's turn-based, so I don't have to do anything here. I can explain this in excessive detail. And there's a number of stats your characters have. They have accuracy, crit, damage, dodge, protection, speed, health, and then they also have resist. So if I mess with the enemy, you can see they resist. Alright, I'm bringing double Crusaders. We have extra damage versus undead. So the lance itself has 30% damage versus unholy, and I have another 25% versus damage here. And this guy actually has a perk, not versus unholy though. So, but we're gonna do some serious damage, and I'm gonna try to one-shot. Does this guy have human hater? Yeah, he does. Alright, well, 10 to 19 here, or 13 to 25 there. Neither are going to kill. Let's just put damage on this guy. I haven't got my buffs up yet. So in the dungeons, you can camp once per piece of firewood you have. Firewood is determined on the size of the dungeon. Large dungeons give you 2, medium dungeons give you 1, small dungeons give you 0. Your guys have camping skills, and camping skills are basically buff skills. Alright. Speaking of, let's throw some stuns out here. Stun that guy. Stun guys miss their round. I don't think Plague Grenade will actually kill this. So we'll leave him at 1. Ah, no, it does. Let's Holy Lance the other one.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
He'll die to the dot.
Death
Good.
by injury.
Turn order is determined by a speed attribute, but it's RNG heavy, so it's not just your speed attribute. There's also a dice roll that's added to it, and the really annoying part is it makes it very difficult to predict who's going to be going first each round, even if they have vastly different speed. Crusaders are slow as dirt, though, so it's not quite as big a deal. And let's heal. Let's party heal. And Noxious Blast. No abilities have cooldown in this game that I've encountered yet, so you can use all your abilities every turn. It's just the positioning that becomes the issue. Alright, let's kill this guy. Wow. Way to fucking low roll, asshole. Alright, I gotta get my party buffs up.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Lockdonan's resub for the 10th month in a row. Thank you very much, Lockdonan. You watching Arvius' finale? I believe he's on the Temple ship for XCOM. So that's pretty cool. I'd be watching that if I wasn't streaming myself. Alright, quick heal on the Crusader. Thanks for the resub, mate. What is my accuracy right now? So I wanted to look at this earlier. So, okay. Where our chance to hit on this guy with 10 dodge is only 80. Okay, so we need a little bit more accuracy buff.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
I know you're big into the XCOM stuff, so I don't want you missing that if you didn't know already. Alright. So I do want to camp. I should camp in the next room. I was kind of hoping to get a little bit of stress on the Crusaders before I camped. Just because the Crusaders' accuracy buff also gives them a stress heal. Oh, there's another thing we haven't talked about, Zam, which is Torchlight. So the light level, which you control by burning torches, which are a consumable you buy at the start of missions, determines a lot of things. You'll notice right now, some of my, first of all, you have quirks. As your character's level, they gain positive and negative quirks, and some of the quirks reference light. Like this guy has Warrior of Light, so he does extra damage if the torch level is above 75. Current torch level is 73. I can control that anytime I want by lighting a torch. Each torch gives plus 25 torch light. Light decreases over time or through certain enemy actions. So as I move across these corridors, my light goes down, not across time, it's across distance, really. High light gives me a better chance to surprise the monsters and a better chance of not being surprised, and also reduces the stress my characters take. Low light is the opposite. Low light increases crit chance for me and monsters, but increases the accuracy of monsters and increases the stress I take. So just something else to be aware of. Alright. We're about to run. Oh, this is a scout. So on the minimap down here, you can see a red, a green, and then a purple. The red represents a monster, so I got a scouting ping. I have an item that gives me scouting chance, and you have scouting chance anyway. So I know I'm about to walk into a fight, so I want to put my the light up. I got a surprise round on them, which is sometimes useful. They're both gonna die, but I think one set of dots would be useful here. So I don't think I can one-shot right now. I think I almost one-shot. Yeah, well, actually, let's cap that hitting right now.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Dodge and missing are the same thing in this game. As you raise your dodge skill, your opponents have a decreased chance to hit. So misses and dodges are pretty much exactly the same. You should die to the dot.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
The party has a pretty limited inventory space, which is really annoying. So part of the 90% disarm, let's try. Part of the micromanagement in a dungeon is deciding what inventory you want to keep versus what you want to dispose of. Because you're trying to maximize the profits you get in each dungeon, because the profits are used to level up the town outside of the dungeon itself. So T is the hotkey for torch. You'll hear the noise of a torch being lit from time to time as I just keep the light level up. You do get more gold and more loot from low light runs and zero light runs. So at some point we're probably going to go do some of those. Actually, the item we're picking up for completing this mission, one of the part of the quest reward, actually gives us an item that makes us more powerful in the dark. So we're considering doing that. Considering taking advantage of that.
Even the cold stone seems.
Do dots trigger when the unit is dotted? Yes, it's when it's on there. So when I dot, they have a dot affliction that happens to them, but it triggers every time they get an action. Alright, we have a fight. I should have upped the light once more. Alright, this is what I was talking about. The enemies can, well, that guy just missed, but the enemies can cast stress on you. So they're going to be doing that. Let's see if we can stun this other stress caster before we act so he doesn't get his action. Nice. Alright. Oh, that's annoying. So despite this guy having a speed of 2 and this guy having a speed of 6, the guy with speed of 2 went before him, which means I can't do what I want to do, which is nuke the guy in the back. What are the portraits? These are the portraits and busts and crests and things like that. They're a resource used to upgrade the town. Don't have fucking stun grenade on this guy. It's quite irritating. Oh, God, Ravan. This is a good game? Yeah, it's a very fun game. You don't set a desired level for the light level. You actually manually control the light level. Light level decreases as you move through the dungeon. So if you notice, there's 4 tiles and then a room. Every time you enter a room or move across a tile, there's a decrease in light level. So the goal, at least for me, like, let me show you. So this group in particular is really light sensitive. This guy has a damage buff if my light is over 75, and both of my guys are using sun rings, which give me accuracy and damage if light is over 75. So what I've been doing with this group in particular is when I go into combat, I want to keep the light level over 75, and you do that by consuming torches. There's a hotkey. You won't see me clicking in the inventory very often because I just use T, which is the hotkey, to keep the light level up. That's part of the reason why we're hitting so hard, is because these guys are specifically attuned to killing unholy guys, and then they're decked out with light items. I'm probably going to camp here. I've been holding off just because I wanted to take the maximum advantage of the camping. So this is the camping mechanic.
A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
You use food to gain buffs. I guess I will use it. I mean, these guys are gonna, the stress is gonna be used up anyways. So this would be using 8 food to give this guy. So the levels, the amount of food you use depends on what buffs you get. So here we got a heal, and then we got 10 stress relief across the group for that. These guys have an ability called Zealous Vigil, which is self-only reduce stress by 25 and gain 10 accuracy. We're going to be using that on both of them. It costs me 3 time cost. When you camp, you have 12 time cost to use. So I'm down to 6 now because I used 3 in each of those. I'm going to cure a disease. My Vestal has a disease, and this guy has an ability that allows him to cure diseases. So I'm going to remove that disease on her. And somewhere we have another accuracy buff, which I'm going to put on the Vestal, or the Plague guy, I think. And we have 3 left. I'll probably use self-medicate here, just because it gives us stress relief here. So, cool. It's our camp. Get our buffs up. The buffs stay until you camp again or until you exit the dungeon.
Secrets and wonders.
And we're gonna get surprised, which sucks. So when you get ambushed, your party gets shuffled, and units lose. Like, my abilities are really specific, so I lost my ability to cast Incision, for example. These things are resistant to Plague. You can see in the bottom left, or kind of bottom middle of the screen. If I move the mouse, it disappears. But you guys can see the resistances. So these guys have 60 Blight resist, and this is a Blight attack. The base accuracy on this Blight spell, because I have a bonus to it, is 129%. So you subtract the 60. So I'm sitting at about a 70% chance that this will even hit, which is kind of annoying. But it did hit. No, this is a pretty weak group that just ambushed me. And when you're fighting in the dark, when you get ambushed, it automatically brings it to 0 light, which means that there's +4. I don't know what I know that each plus there means it's more so, but I don't know what the multiplier is. So this is +4 stress, +3 monster accuracy and damage, and +3 hero surprise. It's also +3 loot, +3 player crits. So like my Vestal here, because she's been shuffled to the front row, she can't do shit because all of her abilities require she's either in the back 2 or the back 3, right? So she's up here. You can move, but she can only move 1 tile backwards because she's a huge troll character. Collector's not so bad, Spade Mate. He's pretty easy. And we just got a fucking disease on our guy right after we used our cure disease already from this auto attack. It's so annoying. What do we get? What disease is it? 20% heal skill. Oh, it's not a bad one. Okay. Alright, let's kill this guy. That guy will die to the dot anyways, so we'll dot this guy. What are the item rarities? Just what they look like. This color is common. Green is like uncommon. Blue is rare. Orange is like legendary or something, and red is like ultra epic or something ridiculous like that. So it's just how likely those items are to spawn. So you'll see when I finish. Next time I prepare for a mission, you'll see kind of the ways to get items.
Seize this momentum.
All right, we survived the
Push
shitty
on to
ambush.
the task's
Good.
end.
And we got a scout ping. Let's keep clearing the dungeon out. There's lots of interactable items along the way. Your characters can pick up quirks that make them auto-interact, and a lot of the interactions are negative. A lot of interactions require that you have a specific item in your inventory, or if you do the interaction, you're going to get punished. So I just tossed the food to make room for the gold. What week are we on? I'm not entirely sure. I think we're, because I didn't look before I started. I'll have to check when we get back in town. I can check when we're back in town. All right, more undead. It's alright, this group is set up specifically to deal with undead, so that's good. And we should be sitting as accurate. Yeah, we're at 90% chance to hit, which is what the game caps it at. So 23, a little disappointing. I would have liked that to have killed it. Leaves them at 1 health. Alright, get a plague grenade in there. Party heal. Yeah, Vestal should be in 4th position. It's not actually a huge deal, but it is a little bit of a deal. It's just them not updating. That's a stun. We resisted it. Cool. Alright, Holy Lance. Most of the time what you find is the game sets it up so when the enemies engage, the guys in the back are more obnoxious than the guys in the front, and they're harder to deal with. But Holy Lance is a really nice ability for dealing with that shit. So. Stun here. They resisted. This guy has an attribute called Protection. He has 45% protection and 10 dodge. Dodge is just an accuracy negative modifier, and Protection is a damage modifier. So he takes reduced damage because he has Protection, which is basically an armor level. You can think of it as. One of the ways to get around Protection is to put dots on it. Dots ignore Protection, so stacking dots on him does a lot of damage. Key. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of one of these torches. Take the gold. These sell at the end of the mission, so they're worth cash, but we're running out of inventory space already. I don't really want to get rid of anything else quite yet. So we're gonna junk those items. Corpses, they hold position, so like a corpse takes up a position. So like, let's say I can only attack the front 2. If there's 2 corpses in the front 2 and 2 guys in the back, I can't attack them. They also increase the amount of loot that you get when the fight finishes. Okay, this is my second one of those items I'm gonna pick up. But let's go all the way up the corridor before I come back and pick that up, so I can potentially make room for it later. Okay, another fight. Lance. Plague grenade. We found 1, we need 3. Well, we found 2 if you count the one I just passed, but I'll get it on the way back. Alright, put my guy back, yeah.
Grievous injury.
It's annoying when they crit.
Palpable fear.
So when they crit, it gives you increased stress across the party. And it does, of course, extra damage. They just crit me twice. When you crit heal or kill a guy or crit yourself, you reduce your stress you're taking.
The ground
So
quakes.
every time we do this, we gain a little bit of stress back, which is really good. dots can crit, even though they can't. The ticks of the dot can't crit. So when you apply the dot, it can crit, but it's just the base damage increase. You can crit for, I think you can crit for 0, I think. So it's not like it's going to do a lot more damage when a dot crits, but it still gives you that stress relief, which is really important.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Oh no, I want these items.
Success
I want that
so
in particular.
clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Inventory is getting clogged. It's worth 1,000. Alright, I'm gonna end up leaving some items, a lot of items behind, unfortunately. So inventory is just too clogged. We'll get that light on the way back as well. Eat. Oh, that's another mechanic. You have to eat from time to time in the dungeon. There's 3 reasons to bring food. You can use food as a heal when you're out of combat. Here's the 3rd relic. Okay, so we can dump all this shit, basically. Alright, let's dump the shovels, because we're actually done here. And I guess we're going to dump the holy water. Okay, there's the 1 item. We'll go back and get the last item and finish this up. You can bleed something and blight it, yep. Although the things that tend to be resistant to bleed tend not to be resistant to blight and vice versa. What I want to do though is I want to maximize my gold return on a dungeon that I've already invested my characters in. So although I'm going to pick up the last item here in a minute, I also want to make sure I move along a little bit further, at least till I'm out of food, or out of dungeon, or out of ability to move on. Let's disarm the trap. You can disarm traps that you've scouted. Let's put my positions back. Let's pick up our last item. Okay, we can actually now leave the dungeon if we want, but we're going to hit continue adventuring to go maximize our resources gained. So we really have 2 item slots left. We have the torch item slot left and the food item slot left that we can fill up with resources. We will have to risk some more fights for it, but the fights have been pretty easy so far. There's our last hunger ping. So we need to be a little careful now. So if you get a hunger ping when you have no food, your guys they take a bunch of stress and also damage. Okay. Take this fight. Why didn't I drop the 825 gold for the 1,000 ruby? Because gold stacks at a higher rate than that. So I'm basically playing the slightly longer game here. I'm assuming that I'll get a full stack of gold. It's the same reason why I didn't, well, like the 1,000 ruby was also equal to 2 onyxes, but my suspicion is onyxes are a little bit more common, so I'm more likely to get those. Let's play grenade in here. Let's stun here. Oh, he dodged it. It's annoying. Need whiskey in a moment here. Probably after this run, we're gonna grab some whiskey.
Masterfully executed.
I love stacking unholy damage on Crusaders. I pretty much don't use Crusaders at all, except when I'm stacking holy damage in the runes. So certain types of dungeons have certain types of characters in it. These dungeons are very unholy heavy. Crit heal. Have I ever spoken to any of the AI chatbots on the internet? Yeah, I have. I did a presentation in one of my psych classes on one of them. I can't remember the name of it now because it's been a million years. But I had the class interact with one for a while. They were pretty dumb when I was doing it then, but they were still, you know, they could fool people. Alright, so we picked up a little bit more gold, picked up another emerald. We're going to be a little greedy here, and we're going to attempt one more room before we run out of food. We're going to run into 2 fights here. Just one of the fights. 75 does not trigger our rings, we want to bring it up to 100.
In radiance, may we find
damage.
victory.
Kind of weak roll.
Dazed, reeling.
Alright, random bone veteran critting me for 1,000,000 fucking damage. say so. So there's the dog critting. Got someone OP. They're really not. None of the monsters we've been fighting here are particularly strong.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
I'm gonna toss the torches for the rest of the gold. Trigger our next fight right here. Okay, this is a mini boss. This is the collector. Ideally you stun him in the first round because then he can't summon his guys, but I think he's fairly quick. I'm gonna heal here instead of waste the attempt to stun because I just want to crush him. Oh, we're actually gonna get a chance to stun. 70% resistant. What's the base stun percent? 119. So we got about a 50-50 here. Okay, cool. Good, he missed his turn. Let's pump damage into him. Does he count as undead or eldritch? Human eldritch. There he goes. So he summons a shadow copy of your guys. So these are not directly your group, but any of the hero classes that are available. So he summoned a man-at-arms and 2 Vestals. Vestals are healers. So it's going to get really fucking annoying here in a moment because he's going to start spam healing this guy. And he has a life drain anyways. Let's stun the man-at-arms.
The match is struck.
Because he has a guard ability he likes to use. I'm going to do damage at least to one of these Vestals with the goal of... so if they heal, they may not heal him. They may heal this guy instead. Yeah, heal him twice instead of the boss. Good, he tried to life drain me and missed. Excellent. Let's play grenade here. I think that just missed, because he should have 3 dots on him. This is not an ideal group for dealing with the collector because I don't have guys who can consistently hit the back row. It depends on the speed of the... It depends on the rounds that happens here. Gonna be a life drain. Oh no, he uses stress attack. That's really good. If he doesn't heal this round, he's dead. Man-at-arms can guard him though. Yeah, I just fucking guarded him. Now I can't deal damage to him until this guy's dead. That's what the guard ability does. That's a heal. Oh no, it wasn't. That was a damage buff. Okay. Well, we can kill this one. And that removes the guard. And then we can stun this other healer. So he can't heal. And then hopefully we can slam into that guy and kill him. Nice. It's random drop what comes off them. They can drop really valuable things, but mostly they just drop a small amount of cash off the collector. He's a mini boss, not really a real boss. You see the little dash mark next to the guys? That means they haven't gone yet this round. So this guy is my active guy. This guy hasn't gone yet this round, and that guy hasn't gone this round yet. Which is why I attacked that one instead of the other one. That's our 2,500 gold. I don't really have any other things to get rid of except that, so we're going to take that. Alright, I think we're done with this mission. I can't imagine anything. Well, we have one more item right here. And we got rid of our holy water. This gives you items based on holy water. So we'll finish the mission.
The abbot will be grateful. The trappings of his faith
This is the
have been
quest rewards that
restored.
are part of the ones guaranteed you if you finish the quest. This is the stuff we picked up. We picked up 10.5k, and then we picked up a bunch of heirlooms, which are used to upgrade the town. My guys leveled, and that's not always a good thing. As they level up, they get, this guy got a minus and a positive, this guy got a positive. And positive, this little arrows next to this means that it's replacing existing abilities I have. You can pay to lock abilities in. If you don't lock them in, they can be replaced. Winded's not all that bad, especially on Crusaders who are slow as fucking dirt anyways. So, hey Caleb.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Alright, I'm going to take a quick break to grab more alcohol, and then we're going to do our next mission. I'll be right back. 2 seconds.